Hey guys, if you're interested in building your own website, then you've definitely heard of a lot of website builders out there. Basically, website builders help you design and create a website from scratch without needing advanced coding knowledge. And if you've done any research on this topic, then you've probably heard the term WordPress thrown around quite a bit. It's definitely one of the most popular options for creating a new website. Now, WordPress can be a little tricky to navigate, so today we've decided to make a walkthrough of how to use WordPress to develop your own website, and we're going to walk you through step by step. And if you are interested in checking out WordPress, I will throw a link in the description so you can check it out there, along with any deals or discounts that I find that might not be available on their website, so feel free to check those out as well. Now, one thing to note before we jump in is that there are actually two versions of WordPress. There's WordPress.com, and that's a simplified version, and a self-hosted WordPress. In this section, we'll be discussing the self-hosted WordPress. So jumping right in, the first thing you're going to want to do is choose a hosting plan, and this will vary depending on your particular situation and what you hope to achieve with your website. Also, do note that WordPress itself is 100% free, but to make your website available online, you'll have to sign up for web hosting. And there are a ton of hosting options available. But don't worry, we've done a ton of research on this, and there's a few that we can recommend to you if you're interested. And those recommendations would be Hostinger. Hostinger is one of the cheapest hosting providers around, so it's definitely good if you're on a budget. It also has excellent speeds and a one-click WordPress installer. It does also have some great security features and servers that are optimized for WordPress. Our second recommendation would be A2 Hosting. Now, A2 offers standard shared hosting or managed WordPress hosting. It's also great for those of you that are interested in reducing your carbon footprint, as it is a green hosting company. It delivers great speed, and it also has great security with its own HackScan threat detection and removal tool that is included free. And lastly, SiteGround is another great affordable option. It does have some specialized WordPress features such as plugins that can boost your page loading speeds, and it also excels at security. So again, if you are interested in checking out any of these hosting services, I will throw links to them down in the description below, so again, you can check them out there if you're interested. Just note that when you are choosing a host for your WordPress website, you're going to want to look for an SSL certificate to make sure that your website is secure. You're going to want WordPress optimization to make sure that you have the best performance and that your pages load faster. Also, definitely check out the security features because some web hosts do charge extra for essential security, so definitely try to find one that has things like malware protection, firewalls, and automatic backups included. Again, you can't go wrong with the three that I just mentioned. Now, your next step is going to be choosing a domain name. Now, some web hosts do include free domain names with annual plans, but not all of them do, so that's one thing that you'll want to keep an eye on. But you can also buy domain names from third-party vendors as well, and some of them have great deals. You can pick up a domain name for as little as $1 on some of the domain marketplaces. Now, next up, you're going to use a one-click installer to install WordPress. Now, some hosting plans do come with WordPress pre-installed, but if your plan doesn't, not a big deal. You can actually use a one-click installer provided by your host. Basically, they will set up all the scripts and databases needed to make WordPress work on your website. All you have to do is provide a username and password that you want to use to log into WordPress once the installation is complete. Now, depending on the hosting service that you choose, the WordPress one-click installer may be called something different or look a little different, but essentially they all function the same. Next up, you're going to want to access WordPress through your hosting dashboard. And again, this process will vary depending on your web host, but in most cases, you'll just find a section in your hosting dashboard for managing your WordPress website. It shouldn't be too difficult to locate. Generally, there's a button to log into your WordPress website's dashboard, but for some hosts, you may have to type in your WordPress username and password to log in. Now, once you're in the dashboard, it may seem a little overwhelming at first, but don't worry, it's actually fairly easy to use and intuitive. From here, you'll be able to change things like posts, media, pages, theme installers, customizers, theme settings, plugins, and other settings. And basically, this gives you the ability to view and add new posts to your website, view, edit, and upload new images, edit and add new pages to your website, view existing themes, customize your website colors, fonts, and layouts, add plugins to your website, and also change basic settings like the title and subtitle or date format and permalinks on your website as well. Next up, you're going to want to choose a theme. Now, if you are familiar with any other website builders, themes are basically the same as templates that you would find in these website builders. They basically control the general style and layout of your website. The default theme is a little basic, so you might want to update it by installing a different theme. There are thousands available, so you should be able to find one that suits your taste. You can actually install multiple themes and use a customizer to see how they'll look on your website before you activate them as well, which is a great feature. Now, next up, you're going to want to add some plugins. Plugins are similar to apps offered by website builders. They basically add extra features to your website that might not be included in WordPress itself. This will be things like a contact form or a built-in online store. Basically, anything that you could think of will have some sort of plugin to go with it. Now, there is a search box to help you find the plugins you need, and you can find out more about each plugin, including whether it's compatible with your version of WordPress, what features it has, and what others think about it. All you have to do is click Install, and then make sure that you've clicked the Activate button in the plugin panel. Next up, you'll want to create your first post. Now, a lot of people ask what the difference is between posts and pages, and basically pages are static content, so the content on your website that doesn't change or doesn't change very often. Things like an About Us page. Posts are a little bit more dynamic. They'll show up on a blog page or category page of your website. The difference between these pages and posts is the way WordPress actually displays them on your site. Now, the process involved in creating these two things is basically identical. What you're going to do is click the Add New button. That'll take you to the editor. The editor uses blocks to create posts and pages along with layouts, sections, and containers. You can add more blocks to the editor using free plugins. Blocks included in the standard editor include paragraph, heading, quote, image, list, cover image, gallery, slideshow, table, and buttons. Basically, just choose a block, then click the plus icon on the side of the paragraph, or type / into the free space labeled Start Writing, or type / to choose block. Now, one very important thing to note, as soon as you create your WordPress website, it will be live on the internet. However, there are 3 separate spaces where you'll find publish buttons in WordPress. In the customizer, you'll see a button at the top of the panel, which saves changes and makes your customization live. And at the top right of each new page you create, as with posts, your content is just a draft until you click publish. Now, for those of you who might be a little short on time, it's possible to hire a web developer and save a little bit of time and frustration with WordPress. Thanks to websites like Fiverr and Upwork, you don't have to spend a small fortune. You can search for web developers that specialize in WordPress, and you can hire them for as little as $5. But honestly, WordPress does have a ton of helpful resources available, so you shouldn't have too much trouble getting your website up and running on your own. And honestly, like I said, it is very user-friendly. Now, in terms of cost, WordPress is technically free, but like I said, you will have to pay for that web hosting and a domain name. There's also some premium features and apps that will cost you extra as well. If you're wondering what the difference between WordPress.com and WordPress.org is, basically it's in the way they're hosted. WordPress.com, you don't have to pay separately for hosting, but you will need to upgrade to one of the highest price plans to use plugins and upload themes from third-party marketplaces. WordPress.org is self-hosted, so you do pay for hosting separately. Just note that you don't necessarily need a special WordPress hosting plan. WordPress will work on any shared hosting plan that has a one-click installer. There are benefits to choosing a WordPress-specific hosting plan, however. Basically, if you choose a WordPress-specific hosting plan, your website will be hosted on servers that are actually optimized for WordPress, so you'll get access to some optimization plugins, and overall your website will be a little bit faster and run smoother. You can also get managed WordPress hosting, and that's a hassle-free version because your host will take care of things like updates, security patching, and backups, so you can just get on with building your website. Again, this will be specific to your particular skill level and what you're hoping to achieve with your website, so definitely do lots of research before you jump in. Now, once you do have your website built, you'll want to get people to start visiting your website, and there are a lot of things that you can do to help grow your audience. Branding is going to be very important, so one of the first things that you might want to do is design a logo. It does make your website look a little bit more professional and helps your brand be more recognizable. There are lots of logo designing tools out there, so find one that works for you and create a logo and throw it up on your website. You can also hire a designer as well on some of those sites that I mentioned for as low as $5. Basically, they will come in with all of their knowledge and customize your website for you based on whatever style you would like. Now, a very important step here is going to be optimizing your website. This involves things like search engine optimization, analyzing your traffic, and understanding what your audience is looking for. Now, you don't have to do this on your own. There are a lot of great tools that make optimization easier. Next up, you'll want to grow your audience with email marketing. And again, there are lots of tools available to help you with this. Honestly, studies show that email marketing is up to 100 times better than things like social media channels like Twitter. Some examples of good email marketing platforms are things like Constant Contact, Benchmark Email, Sendinblue, ActiveCampaign, and The Sort. Basically, these are designed to make your emails look professional and be able to reach a wide audience and driving traffic back to your website. So guys, all in all, WordPress may not be the most easy to use, but that being said, there is a ton that you can do with it. And if you take the time to learn it properly, you can build and customize an amazing website. There are a ton of websites out there that are based off of WordPress, so it's definitely worth looking into if you are looking into creating a great looking and fully optimized website. Anyway guys, I hope this video was helpful for you. If so, please feel free to leave a thumbs up, as I always appreciate that. And if you do have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, as I always love getting to answer as many of those as possible. Don't forget, I will leave links to WordPress and some of the hosting platforms that I mentioned down in the description below, so you can check them out there if you're interested, along with any deals or discounts that I may find. Otherwise, guys, thanks so much for watching today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next video.